Hello and welcome to this new episode of 40k Old versus New, where we compare some of the old Chaos Space Marine models and have a look at them compared to the new ones. In today's video, we will be having a look at once commander of the Justaran Terminators, now the War Master of Chaos, Ezekiel Abaddon himself. We'll start off with having a bit of a look at this older model of Abaddon's. Taking a spin around this model, we can already see the age of this thing, even in comparison to the older Terminator sculpt that just got replaced over the last couple of years. We can see he's definitely a pretty small statured man. The big ass DJ, talent of Horus. A very awkward sort of angle on this model. Having a look at it, we can see it's still a lovely thing aside from the sort of flatness of it. Nice amount of skulls. Look, we can see the nice Eye of Horus on that pauldron. Already see these older trophy racks from that side angle. The very toadstool-esque points on the top. Look at that claw again. We can see those if it ever wants to. See those ejection ports with nice screaming faces on them. The classic Terminator sort of pattern armor. Definitely shows its age, I should say. Coming around, nice view of Draknyan. Couple of pudgy demon faces in that hilt. And the screaming faces up the blade. It's a pretty thick piece of work, but I'm sure that's what you get when it's an old sculpt, originally done in metal. See the face definitely got that sort of more deeper expressions, sort of like the Fabius model. Deep recesses in the cheeks. Nice top notch. Tallest, of course. Skull down there. Tabard. Of course, I did a bit of a sea green as a bit of an homage. But yeah, this was a good-ish model, I'm sure, for its time, especially when it first came out with that current sculpt of Terminators. Definitely shows its age, and very well known for his arms falling off. But I've never had that problem, as this is a fail cast. He's missing a trophy rack there. That's come off at some point in time, and I have not noticed. But swap over now. Check out this new sculpt. Try and fit this whole bad boy in frame, shall we? Here we have him again in all his glory. Taking a spin around, you can see the nice demon skull in the center of the chest. Nice. Another one on that shin there. Coming around, of course, and a bit of chaos style, as always. You can see the talent of Horus. Up in a nice position, almost like he's calling somebody to come, or he is about to crash something. See that trophy rack above the head? Nice sort of crescent design. Plenty of skulls. Helmet. See that facial expression when it wants to. There we go. See, I went with this face on him. He does have multiple expressions you can place on him if you like. One with a respirator, one where he's sort of screaming a bit more, I think. I chose the one that sort of represented the sort of Horus visage a little bit more. Got some nice pipe work, comes down, going to his arms. These nice little hip plates. Plenty of bolter rounds coming out of the going in, I suppose I should say. Coming around, we can see he's got himself a nice big cloak now. Sort of tried to go for this sort of leathery, sort of worn pattern. You can see his sort of back grills, sort of diamond-esque shape. Some nice furs. Nice big eye of Horus on that shoulder pad. Have a look at the shoulder. See the bit of a sort of square, harder edge going on in some areas. Got himself a little power source down there, hidden away. Plenty of pipes underneath, if you so desire to not have the cape on. Torch here, which I definitely didn't put much effort into when I was painting. Look at the back of that arm, see a nice little eye of Horus. Again, I think I rushed his paint job just a wee bit too much. Drachnyan now got himself a little bit more length. So you still have that demon face on the hilt. Still very easy to recognize blade. It's a very nice sculpt and definitely worthy of a of the new model. But if we can get this to continue to focus, we can a nice little Eye of Horus motif on the back of that trophy rack as well. Plenty of skulls, plenty of demon skulls, and plenty of Eye of Horus motifs. But let's get these two models side by side now and take a little bit of a look at them when they're next to each other. Let's see if we can fit them both in frame well enough, shall we? Shall be a task, but you can already see, first thing, of course, you notice that height difference. It's definitely a bit of a Dr. Evil mini-me vibe going on. But straight away we can see the top notch definitely got a little bit shorter off the head, but flows a bit nicer. This one's just a bit too stationary on the original model. You can see the facial features definitely softer, but still has a nice menacing sort of vibe going on in that face. We see the skull in the center of the chest is now more demonic, where it sort of used to have that just standard skull vibe. You have the nice belt, as I call them. The skull's being replaced with an Eye of Horus. You can see the skull's down on the knees. Of course, the new one doesn't look as sort of cartoonish as the old one. See, he's kept his singular skull dangling down. The tabard is definitely flowing a bit more nicer now, has more movement. Come around, we can still see he's got his skull with the sort of points, the Chaos Stars. No hip plates on the old model. Didn't need a protector there apparently back then. Coming around, we can see this. If we can get a decent side-by-side view of these two claws. Definitely a bit hard because of the angle of the old one, but we can see that the ejection ports actually became the entrance ports for the bullets, and the ejection ports got moved to the side of the bolter, or the side of the talon, which is very interesting. I didn't actually know it. I didn't realize this until I was actually having a look at these two models today. But we can see though these ones are definitely more stagnant for the claws. The harder sort of squared edge of them is a bit nicer than I think this. I'm not a big fan of these sort of rounded backs on this. Gives it a bit of a sort of banana fingers vibe. Of course, the memes went around. But continuing to come around, we'll have a look at these pauldrons side by side. You can see the old one's far more rounder, the new one having that sort of squared off look to the top of it. Big eye, of course. He claims to hate Horus, but still uses that symbol. You can see the back grills, definitely different shapes. This top one has sort of a coffin shape about it, where that newer one, like I said, got that diamond shape. Just adds something different, which is good to see on, especially a character model like Horus. Horus, Abaddon. The added pelt and cloak I find very nice. Gives him again that bit more of a presence on the field. Come around, we'll get nice side by side of Drac 9. Let's see if we can do this. So we can see definitely a bit more length in the newer one. The face is a few less, but a little bit more defined. Easier to pick out a bit. Let's see. Other than that, it's kept a lot of those same details. They've just made them look crisper. Down the bottom, see his handle got a little bit longer. He's taken out that annoying spike in the middle of it, a little band of spikes. Of course, this pauldron's nicely covered up now, but I'm sure there is a Star of Chaos under there. But yeah, these are definitely a worthy upgrade from the original. I'm sure the original was great for its time, but this new one is something that people are definitely going to spot on the battlefield rather than this small ass motherfucker that just hides in amongst all the Terminators. This man has a presence about him. And plenty of bolter rounds. But as a little bit of a finisher, thought we would just do a quick little comparison between the new Abaddon and the Forge World Horus. So, as we can see, if we can get a nice angle, Abaddon's maybe a smidge smaller than Horus. You can see the Forge World model's definitely got some nice crisp details on it. But apparently Horus had a far bigger head than Abaddon. But yeah, of course, in the books and in the lore, they say that Horus and Abaddon looked a lot alike. Obviously, there's some similarities, but yeah. Love this horoscope. Let's have a look at those two claws if we can, side by side. see this far less tainted version. See the sort of drum mag on the side. Ejection ports clearly on the top. I think out of all of the kits, obviously, these claws look the nicest. I mean, compare them to these sort of a little bit more rounded in a way claws. Should clean this model up a little bit more before painting it, but yeah, we can see that the talent of Horus has definitely seen its fair share of warp energy. Definitely interesting that it chose to put the magazine feed in the top and put the bolts on the side, considering we'll look at that hose when we can get this to focus. That ejection port would not be able to eject very well, but rule of cool, I suppose. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed my little comparison and review of the different Abaddon models, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next video. Have a good one.